Join us as we break down the Charlotte Hornets' thrilling win over the Pacers and their hard-fought loss in overtime against the 76ers. LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller are finding their rhythm. What does this mean for the long-term success for the Hornets? We'll also be diving into the Golden State Warriors win over OKC. Plus, learn how you can enter to win $50 gift cards. Stay tuned for the weekend recap, games to watch, and everything NBA basketball. This is Fanzone Basketball. Let's get it.
Artlist.io.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Fanzone Basketball. Fanzone Basketball. This is a NBA basketball podcast for you, your everyday news. Today we'll be talking about your Charlotte Hornets. Hornets. I'm gonna try something real quick. I am not today. Um, the Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets win today. Had a really nice win against the Indiana Pacers. Halliburton was practically non-existent, but Halliburton also did have the bounce back game that we were worrying about. They had the night against the Knicks, so that's something that we dodged, but definitely feel happy about the Hornets winning against the Indiana Pacers. Blowout game, 18 towards the end of the fourth quarter. 1-2 punch by Brandon Miller coming hot in the third quarter of that game, and then the Miller Ball just coming in and closing it out. Now, it was a very hard fought game in the first half. Um, the Pacers were definitely giving in a lot of work in the post. That center spot, you can still see how that's affecting. But even though there is no center, Todd Gibson has given them absolutely lifeline in terms of being able to play small ball. Without Miles Bridges, it looked to be a tough game, but just LaMelo just having Brandon eat on the third quarter and then Ham just going off on the fourth. Such a good win for them. I was very happy to see that. Now fourth on the East, I believe after this loss against the 76ers, that will be kind of referencing a little bit um, coming up. They go down to 5 or 6 on on the standings, but they're looking to go above 500. But overall, all in all, that game was very good, very dynamic, very in your face. Halliburton was shut down by defense. I think they turned it around really well, and then that it clicked. There, Brandon Miller, and we're expecting from Landon Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball. It's that second half of that Pacers game. That is what you want. That is what you're expecting. That is what you're looking for. That is what the best case scenario looks like, having basically unstoppable Brandon Miller getting fed by somebody that you have to pay attention, Ball, and then just having Lamelo come and close out that game. 31 points for Lamelo, 29 for Miller. It's such a good game. Gives it gives really high hopes that the Hornets can maintain this, have sustainable success, and make a deep playoff run. Now, the loss against the 76ers, which again, LaMelo went off with 38 points, close to 40. 38 and 6 and 4, I believe was his numbers. Brandon Miller with 22. Again, Trey Man didn't come off the bench. Uh, that game was very hot fought. I thought the Hornets had it. I thought it's going to be, we give credit where credit's due, but we also have to point out that that game was lost. in that last possession with LaMelo after they had the win. LaMelo just needed to. They were down by one going into the last seconds of the possession after tying it, and all he needed to do was shoot the ball, get it off. Uh, he got he got locked down by Cody Martin, um, uh, and Caleb Martin, I think. Caleb, one of the twins, one of the Martins. You know, and this is uh, a Joel Embiid less, Tyrese Maxey less 76ers. These are the type of games that they need to win to make a statement. Um, it's gonna be a huge learning curve for them. They had to win. Now, this is the upside on all of this is that on all these games they've competed, they've made it happen, and it's been good for them. So, so we'll definitely have something to look at. Again, Lamelo All NBA type style play. It's definitely one of those games that stinks, but it was winnable. Chidan Salon, rookie. He's getting his feet there. He's being more active. He's doing better. He's learning quickly. By the midseason, I that he's gonna be in that starting lineup. It's they have a very dynamic. They again just need a center. I believe that if they just have a center, then the stories will be different. Again, they can't complain. Really good day to be a Hornets fan. And we'll talk a little bit more after into the coming segment. Let's get it.
Artlist.io.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for sticking by. This is Fanzone Basketball, your everyday news for basketball needs. This is your podcast, and this is your host Lou, looking into bettering the production of this podcast as we move along. Hopefully, hello, and welcome back to Fanzone Basketball, your everyday news for NBA, your everyday podcast for NBA news, and anything Charlotte Hornets related, Bulls, and any other team that you want to bring up. We're a dominant Charlotte Hornets podcast, but we do talk about everything else that looks interesting and anything NBA related. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and follow us on all your social media outlets. Uh, we're coming back and talking about a little bit about the Golden State Warriors against OKC. The Golden State Warriors get an insane second half and dealing a massive blow against the OKC. OKC didn't have much ways to respond. It just, it looked like vintage Warriors there in that second half. They played really fast, shooting threes, getting down the lane. Just because they were knocking down threes, they opened up lanes insane in the paint, and you know, Kaminga just kind of took, and all these players just kind of took advantage of that. Definitely seemed like a vintage Warriors there with fresh, new, updated look. Curry still freaking doing his thing. Um, Close to 40 years old and still looking like he's 20, running around there like he's 20 years old. So, Steph Curry still in his prime. Steph Curry definitely still in his prime. It's gonna be fun to look. I had the OKC as one of the teams to beat. I had a little bit of question if the had questions on whether the Golden State Warriors could sustain this type of success, even though coming into 10 games. But they're not a fluke. They look like they are legit. Let's hope they don't get injuries and stay competitive. And definitely the West is going to get very tight with the Mavericks, still being a contender there, going against Timberwolves, OKC, and then Golden State. Now Lakers are doing pretty okay. Don't see them as a contender, but yeah. So the top four teams definitely that you can consider early on contenders will be um would be uh would be OKC, Timberwolves, Mavericks, and definitely the Golden State Warriors. Uh, looking this, the it's just insane. I speechless. Great basketball to watch. Um, can't say anything more. So we'll go ahead and move it to the next to the to the next segment. Coming up, a little bit more information on how to get $50. Let's get it.
Artlist.io.
Hello, welcome back to Fanzone Basketball, your everyday needs podcast for NBA content. This is your host Lou, and I'll be talking about how you can get $50 gift card at the end of the NBA season. So now you know that the NBA season is it's at starting to pick up, going to its full momentum, and then it's coming in. The play-in tournament's going to come soon. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and give subscribers the opportunity to join in with me to give me their feedback and to have a little game. So kind of like a thank you for listening um, to my terrible podcasting skills as they get better. So for that said, what I want to do is every Monday we're gonna do games of the week. We're gonna do week four. We're going to over the day to days. You can go ahead and submit your predictions every day, or you want to do your predictions um, the whole week of the season. Um, your predictions of who's gonna win, and we'll keep tally. And I'll go ahead and do mines as well every day in terms of who's gonna win. Go over them, and we'll keep score. And then at the end of the season, the regular season, um, we'll have the winner that has most points get a $50 gift card. So in order to participate, just all you have to do is listen to the pod, subscribe, and share, follow, and have all those bells notifications turned on. Um, you would have to listen to close to the end of the pod to listen for that. But at the end of the season, I will give you a $50 gift card as a thank you for listening and participating. And hopefully, we can do the same for the play in and playoffs. Again, thanks for listening to Fanzone Basketball. This is Lou. We'll be coming into the fourth segment of the pod. Thank you. Let's get it.
Artlist.io.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for listening to Fanzone Basketball Podcast. This is your host Lou, and this is the fourth segment of the show, and we're gonna be going over the results of the weekend. Going of the weekend games, and we'll go ahead as well. We'll go ahead and go over the Friday games. Review who won, thoughts and prayers, and then we're going to go ahead and review games today and predict. We'll have the games to watch, kind of like a must see to my, to the best of my opinion, and hopefully you guys agree or disagree. And if you guys agree, disagree, go ahead and give a like. Now, also, if you want to participate, what I had previously say to win the $50 gift card. If you don't want to submit your your picks, you can leave them in the comment as long as you're subscribed and you have your notifications, all notifications, bell clicked on. Yeah, leave them in the comments, and I'll still keep tally, and we'll see who wins, who gets the $50 gift card. I'm hoping that later on, as things go, as hopefully this podcast grows, we got a little bit of more money, get make make a fantasy league and things like that. But as step at a time. And again, if you're listening to this, you probably heard me talk for about 15 to 16 minutes. And all I can say is thank you very much for having the patience to listen to my craziness. This is a work in progress, but together as a community, as people, we'll get better. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what we can do better. Again, we'll go over real quick over Friday games. We have Hornets versus Pacers. I had the Pacers over the Hornets, sadly, but I am happy. Hornets beat the Pacers on a complete 20-point blowout, uh, 103 to 83. Hawks versus Pistons. The Pistons take the win against the Atlanta Hawks by 1 point. Pelicans Magic. Uh, Magic takes the win over the Pelicans, 115 to 88. I believe this one is where Zion does a hamstring and he's out for the remainder of the season. It looks to be that way. Celtics versus Nets. Celtics coming clutch with a late win for 108 to 104. Cavaliers versus the Warriors. Cavaliers beat the Warriors 136 to 117. The Warriors, again, we're a very dynamic new team. A lot of new players, new schematics, but surprisingly, they did get a second win this weekend. Bucks versus Knicks. The Knicks actually got defeated by the Bucks. Lost against the Knicks. I had that confused, 94 to 116. The Knicks definitely coming in there and playing and getting getting all their stuff, their ducks in a row. Looks like it. Suns versus Maverick. The Suns beat the Mavericks 114 to 113. Rockets versus the OKC Thunder. Thunder with a almost 20 points um, blowout against the Rockets, 107 to 126. Wizards versus Grizzlies. The Grizzlies with a 128 to 104. Timberwolves versus Trailblazers, 127 to 102. It was a blowout week Friday this Friday in terms of games. Nuggets versus the Heat, 135 to 122. Clippers versus the Kings. The Clippers take the win with 107 to 98. And then the 76ers Lakers, 106 to 116. Then on Saturday, November 9th, we had the Jazz against the Spurs. The Jazz taking on, beating the Spurs by 1 point. What a surprise there. The Nets versus the Cavaliers, 100 to 105. Cavaliers taken out and remain undefeated. The Bulls versus the Hawks. The Bulls take the win 125 to 113. Raptors against the Clippers. The Clippers take the win 105 to 103. And then yesterday, Sunday, with the fun games. Rockets versus Pistons, 101 to 99. Celtics versus Bucks, 113 to 107. The Bucks lose again. It's getting more and more and more tight. It looks like a Giannis trade might be in the horizon. Knicks versus Pacers. The Pacers take on the win against the Knicks at 132, 121. And this is what I meant. They had a really good bounce back game. This is the game that Halliburton was waiting for with, I believe, 32, 33, 33-point game. So definitely good news for Halliburton. Hopefully they keep this momentum. Wizards versus Magic. We have 121 to 94. The Magic beat the Wizards. Magic, even without Paolo Banchero, looks to be like a really good team dynamic. Very well, a lot of depth, a lot of surprising depth for that team. The Hornets lose against the 76ers by 2 points, 105 to 107. That was a thrilling game in overtime. LaMelo with a 38, 38. Jesus, man, 38 game, man. Wow, that's insane. Heat versus Timberwolves. The Heat beat the Timberwolves by 1.95 to 94. Now Golden State Warriors 127 to 116 against the Thunder. Kings versus Suns 127 118. The Mavericks versus the Nuggets. The Nuggets take the win by 2 points, 122 122. Grizzlies beat the Trailblazers 134 to 89. And then the Raptors 103 and 29 versus the Raptors lose against the Lakers 103 and 123. Coming up, games to watch and day today. This is Fanzone Basketball. Let's go.
Artlist.io.
Thanks again for listening to the last segment of second part of the last segment of the Fanzone Basketball Podcast, your podcast for your everyday needs basketball. You get news, uh, video analysis, game analysis, points of views, opinions, everything in between. By your host, Lou. Today, games. We have the Nets versus the Pelicans, Wizards versus Rockets, Kings versus Spurs. Yeah, the Kings versus the Spurs. That is a game to watch, even though they're not a really high caliber. They're both games. It's a really good game. Best game out of today to watch. Kings versus Spurs. Clippers versus Thunder. That's another good game. Cavaliers versus the Bulls. I'm gonna make that a. That is a game to watch. What are gonna be their predictions? So we have Nets, Pelicans. We're taking the Nets. Wizards, Rockets. I'm taking Rockets. Kings versus Spurs. We're taking the Spurs. Clippers. Actually, changing that. I'm taking the Kings. Clippers versus Thunder. We're taking the Thunder. Cavaliers versus Bulls. I think the Bulls take this one. Might be wrong, but Bulls take this one. Again, subscribe, like, share the video, turn on all notifications to your chance to win, uh, to enter and win $50 at the end of the regular NBA season. So please go ahead and submit in the comments below. Submit what are your predictions. We'll go ahead and tally them up. I'll keep a spreadsheet at some point during the end of the week. I'll show the spreadsheet and who's winning. Please go ahead and join us. $50 for free. Just tell us who you think is gonna win today. That's it. And also, uh, wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the in-season tournament starting with the group stages. All right, that's gonna be awesome. New again. This has been. Thanks for listening to Fanzone Basketball. This has been your host, Lou.
Artlist.io.